Hello and welcome. So good to see everyone. Happy June. Yay. Glad you're here. Hello, hello. All right. So we've got just a few minutes before we'll officially begin, but we want to welcome you in. Thank you for joining us. Welcome, welcome. Happy June. Yay, it's June, which means it's time for another Declutter Club. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see everyone popping in the chat. Hello, thanks for letting us know where you're tuning in from. It's great to have a lively chat. So join us there if you'd like to. It's always fun to see if you're returning. So have you joined for previous ones, or is this your first one? If this is your first Declutter Club, please let us know so we can give you a warm welcome. And if you're back, thank you for returning. Yep, returning friends coming in. We love it. It is 7 o'clock, and that means we can get started. As we begin, quick reminder, if you've been joining us for that first Thursday of every month, just a quick reminder that the next one lands on the 10th of July, because the 3rd is the eve of Independence Day here in the States. So we are putting it to the second Thursday in July. So just mark your calendar. We will not be here on the 3rd, but it'll be that second Thursday. But we're glad you're here today. This is our June Declutter Club. Look at everyone popping in the chat, saying hello. It's always lovely. We kind of all get together. Audrey's here for the first time, so welcome, returning, but first time. Carlene, oh great. Susan, good to see you. First timers, yay. First time for Marsha. William, it's great to have you here. And then our returning friends. So we are really truly like a little declutter club. We have the honor of coming together through the Austin Chelmsford Library the first Thursday of every month, unless it conflicts with a holiday or is close to a holiday. Which happens next month. But we're here, it's June, and we've got so much to cover. So welcome in. This is a webinar style, so I can't see you, but I can see you in the chat, and I can see how many of us are here. Close to 200 friends already tuned in, and more are joining every second. So our topic for this month is all about that digital decluttering. Whether you have an iPhone or an Android, we're going to be looking at photos and emails and all the things that are cluttering up your phone. Just like physical clutter, digital clutter takes a toll. We're trying to find an email. We lost a coupon, that photo we were looking for. So it can waste a lot of time and it can weigh on us just the same as physical clutter can. And so whether you feel super tech savvy or you're going to have to step outside your comfort zone and try a new thing with us tonight, we're just really glad that you're here. So welcome, come on in. The chat is off and running. If you're joining us there, please do. We have friends tuning in for the first time. Anita's also here. Patricia, welcome. And then our returning friends as well. So there we go. Oh, Susan's letting us know there might be a little hiccup with the August link. So I will check that. Thank you for the heads up on that. We try our best with technology, but sometimes it goes astray. So yay. Miriam's here for the first time. So is Lynn. Oh my goodness, how fun. And all our returning friends. So thank you so much for making everyone feel welcome. And I'm so glad that you're here. We've got a lot to cover, so we've got to continue. And of course, in that chat, if you'd like to say hello, please do. It's always optional, so no pressure. If you're like, I don't like to chat, I don't know where it is. If I touch a button, I might lose the program. Don't worry, but if it's your favorite thing, please do join us there if you'd like to. And we do hope to see you next month. So remember, it'll be the second Thursday next month. That's July 10th. And then following that, August 7th, and then the 4th. And we've got these topics actually came from requests that you all had in the chat. So thank you. And if you have any requests, should we be able to continue this on into 2026, let us know, because I always try to create something based on your request. So if you have a request for a topic or a popular topic to return, let us know and we'll see if we can make that happen. So quick reminder, if you want to register, and we'll check the August link for you. Thank you for letting us know. If you are raising your hand to chat, this is a webinar format, so I can't see you and you won't be able to talk live, but chat is open, so please let us know if you need anything there. This is a webinar style, so you can see me. My screen, the actual screen share, should be on your screen, and then you may also see a small me in a video. If my video is too large and you want the screen bigger, change your view, or there might be a line, a vertical line on your screen that you can slide the line and make my slide larger if it's too small for you. If it looks good, don't touch anything, and that way we can't mess anything up. So whatever works best for you. So get your device ready to follow along if you'd like to. If you're not feeling like too much of a following along tonight, but you just want to listen, maybe take some notes and do this later. Maybe, you just kind of want to like see what to do, but you're going to actually do it with someone sitting side by side with you. No pressure to actually push buttons during the presentation. You also might be watching this on the device that you would check your emails from, so it may not be possible. But if it's possible, please do have your device handy, and I'll give you a moment to turn that on or go find it if it's gone missing. While we do that, I want to remind you, for those of you that I might just be meeting for the very first time, my name is Jamie Novak. I'm a professional organizer and author of multiple books, including Keep This, Toss That, which is my newest. And we did an updated version of this book, and it has an entire digital chapter. So if that's something that's of interest to you, please do check it out at the library or wherever books are available. So you can see more about me at jamienovak.com. But really, we've got so much to cover. I won't tell you too much more than that, but please do visit if you'd like to. There's a free calendar you can print and a podcast you can listen to, so we can stay in touch and you can stay motivated between our declutter sessions on the first Thursday of the month. So if your device is ready, or if you're just going to take some notes along with us, let's continue on. We're going to be looking at email. The one thing that I suggest you delete from your phones and devices, and then we'll look at digital photos as well. So it is an action-packed hour, and I will try to speak slowly. I get so excited about organizing, and sometimes my enthusiasm can cause me to speak too quickly. So I will try to slow it down, and let me know in the chat if you need me to repeat anything or review items as well. All righty, so let us take a look at stepping outside our comfort zone. Stepping outside our comfort zone. So if tech is not really your thing, if you're not quite sure about it, hopefully these easy steps will get you feeling more confident, but I'll also give you some resources in case you prefer sort of side-by-side in-person guidance or telephone guidance for free. So we'll talk a little bit more about that, but we are going to step outside of our tech comfort zone. And if you're very comfortable in tech, you may actually know some of what I'm going to say, but hopefully I'll have another little hint or two for you. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by all the emails and all the photos on your devices, let us know on a scale of 1 to 10 in the chat. And again, totally optional, but if you'd like to share on a scale of 1 to 10, how are we feeling? 1 is, I feel great. I've got it under control. It's managed. I'm just here to get another hint or two. And 10 is, oh my goodness, thank goodness we're having this declutter club tonight, because I am totally overwhelmed. I don't even know where to begin. So if you'd like to chime in, chat, and give us a number, please do. Totally optional. But oh my gosh, Raylene's like, listen, I'm not even on the chart. I'm off the charts. I'm at a 15. Like the chart can't even contain me. A 100, we're really going off the charts. Nancy's got a 10 plus, 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 all the things. So thank you everyone for sharing. Listen, we just have to smile because there's a lot going on in our lives, in the world. And we're like, listen, I just want to be able to find the photo I took, or I just want to be able to find the email that I need. And especially if we're having to pay for additional storage, all of the things, right? Gosh, we don't want to pay for one more thing, or at least get a new device because it's acting up because the storage is full. So for all those reasons and so much more, we've got a lot to chat about. So let's continue on. Thank you for giving us your feelings on that scale. For me, I think one of the biggest challenges when I pick up my phone to work on doing a little decluttering of the phone, I'm easily distracted because now my phone is in my hand and I see a text message, I see an email, and then I'm reading the email, and then I'm clicking a link, and all of a sudden I'm ordering the ingredients for lasagna for dinner that night when I started out trying to delete some photos. So for me, the biggest challenge is staying focused, and maybe you feel that way too. So we'll try our best as we go along together. And if you are stepping outside of your comfort zone, I just want to let you know that for most of this, and I cannot assure you of this, so always, I want you to feel confident in the buttons that you're pushing on your devices, but most of it is sort of goof proof because your device, tablet, iPad, phone, Android, Apple, laptop, computer, there's a trash can. So it would be as if your file, which is either your email, or a photo, if you think of it as an email or a photo as being an actual thing, and you crumpled it up and you threw it in the trash can and you wanted it back, you could pull it out of the trash and have it again. It's the same thing on your device. So if it's gone into the trash can of the device, we can get it back out. It's once the trash can is emptied, like the trash in your house is emptied into the sanitation truck and it drives away, it's pretty much gone. Could someone with expertise get it out of the landfill, get it out of your device? Possibly. Would it cost money and take time? And is it even possible? I don't know. So for most of this, there's a trash can. We can get stuff out. You usually have a few days, if not up to maybe 30 days or more to get it back. But please don't delete anything tonight that you're like, if it was truly lost, you'd be very devastated or it would be a big problem. So practice tonight with stuff that you don't care about, like a spam email or a photo that means nothing. And that's where we can begin as we gain confidence, because I do want you to feel good about this whole process. So we're going to begin with email. Then we'll look at the one thing that I think we should delete. And then we will look at digital photos, and we'll wrap up with any final questions that you may have. So you can pop your questions in the chat as long as we go. Nancy is saying, but I'm scared to empty the trash. Well, here's the thing. The trash may be emptying on its own after a window of time because everything in trash still counts towards storage. So you don't have to empty the trash. You can just put it there. The challenge is like on your laptop or your desktop, for files, not in the email, but for your files, that trash you would need to empty because that doesn't get automatically emptied. But for most of our email programs and most of our photos, if you trash it, it's automatically leaving, but you've got a long time to pull it back out if you changed your mind. So I hope that helps. And of course, everyone's devices is different and your settings could also be different. So I hope that's helpful. All right, we love it. Yeah, it is. It's a little unnerving, but hopefully we're going to gain a confidence here. So let's keep going. And of course, don't do anything that you're not comfortable doing. So I'm going to invite you to open up your email, and you will probably see in the email program some sort of a search bar or icon. Sometimes the icon is simply that circle with a line, which is meant to be a magnifying glass, which always indicates search. Or sometimes you'll actually see a whole bar that says like search email or search here. That's what we're looking for. So when you open up your email, my best guess is somewhere in the email program, you're going to see something about searching. And in fact, you may have used it in the event that you ever were looking for something and you couldn't find it. So for example, maybe you were looking for the link to log into our program tonight. You would use the search button to type in something like library link or Zoom or Chelmsford Library. And then you would find that it would filter your email to find the emails that included those words. We're going to use that same feature, but we're going to use it so that we can delete groups of emails that are all similar in nature. So let's look at how we can do that, and then we can practice doing it together. So once we've found the search bar or the search icon, and so for me, it's just that little search across the top, you need to get your finger or cursor into that bar and type some sort of a keyword, a key phrase. You could type a person's name. You could type an email address, and I'm going to give you some examples in a minute. And once you type that in, then we're going to hit enter, and it's going to take your maybe thousands of emails, look through them very quickly, and find the ones that include the information that you asked it to find. So for example, maybe you're going to search your email for the word sale, and every email that has come into your email inbox with the word sale will come to you. Or coupon. If you shop at a certain store like Target or Macy's or Amazon, you could look for those because maybe years ago or months ago you bought something and you still have the your order is going to be delivered today email. So that could be there. You could use the word Zoom or discount. You could use an actual email address. You could use a part of an email address. You could use a person's name. Maybe you're on my email newsletter, and every week I'm sending you a teeny tiny newsletter that you can read in 2 minutes or less. So if you typed in Jamie or Jamie Novak, every email that I sent you that was in your inbox would come up. Now, if you had another friend that was also named Jamie, they would both come up. So you just want to look at them to be sure you're deleting the correct items. You can also do things like search with the word attachment, and emails that included an attachment, which maybe is a form or a picture. Those are going to come up, and those take up even more storage because attachments take up more storage. Maybe you need them, don't delete them. But if you don't need them, this is an easier way to find them, I think. Here's a few other examples of more words that you could use. Emails that are sort of promotional or salesy in nature tend to come from emails that say no reply because there's no one to reply to the email. So no reply would be another great search term, or do not reply or deal. You could use the percentage sign again for sales and things. Newsletters, if you've subscribed to different newsletters, reminders, invite, update, automatic, one time only. You'll get a sense of different phrases that will return results that will be most helpful to you. So we can practice this together, and then what happens is it's going to filter all of your email inbox to find you just the emails that contain the search word or search term that you've asked for. So instead of looking at 10,000 emails, maybe we're now only looking at 100 emails that include the word coupon. And then you can choose to delete them all together. So instead of having to look through them all, you can find them in one grouping. If you have a newer phone or if you have an iPhone, there's a really good chance that you'll be able to select them by sliding your finger along the screen. So select the first one and then keep your finger with the pressure on the screen and just continue sliding down, and it may highlight them all. So you don't have to actually click each one. So you want to click the ones that you want to delete, and usually when you click the email, it highlights in some way so that you know you've selected it. Sometimes a checkbox gets checked, or the email line actually turns to another color. And then once we've selected them, we will, if you have a confidence that you don't need them, send them to the trash. And if you've made an error, we should be able to return it from the trash, but it may not be that easy because you have to find it in the trash. So we practice with the ones that you know you for sure don't want. And what you may see if you're practicing this along with us, and if you're doing it from a larger device like a laptop or a desktop computer, what you will often see is above the first email, there'll be a checkbox. And that checkbox, when you tick it, it selects all the ones that are on the screen. So instead of having to tick each one or slide your finger down the screen, this little checkbox will check them all. And then if you wanted one, you just select the one and uncheck the box. This feature is usually not available on a small device like a phone or even a tablet. It's just an extra benefit that makes it a little bit easier, but chances are, because it's a small screen, it's not there. It's usually only visible from like a laptop, a Mac Air, or a desktop computer. But it is just one more shortcut to get everything on the screen highlighted with one click, which can make things a little bit faster. So you can try sliding, and that's the idea that when you have the emails on the screen and you've looked at them by their subject line, or you know for sure that they're coming from an address that you don't care about, it's just extra emails or it's spam and you want it to go, And of course, if you don't recognize it, please don't ever open it or click any links. But we can just slide our finger along the screen for some of the screens, not every screen, and it will just highlight them all. So sometimes you have to select the first one and then keep the pressure on the screen and just go down the screen. And that's just another little shortcut. For some of us, it depends on the device that you have. And then we send them to trash. And once we send them to trash, they will usually sit there for a period of time. It depends on the settings on your device. It depends on the device itself. So I don't know how long they'll sit there. For most of us, it's probably going to be there for, oh gosh, I would say probably 3 days at a minimum. It could be less than that, and it might be up to 30 or 45 days. And then the trash automatically starts to delete things for you. The one difference would be is if your trash is already full and you're trying to send a bunch of stuff to trash, you might get a big message on the screen that says, hey, wait a minute. Whoa, hold on. I have to let you know your trash is so full, right? Like your kitchen garbage being so full, I can't fit one more thing in it. And so if you say trash it, it's going to send it right off the device and you won't be able to get it back. Are you okay with that? So you would actually have to like approve that happening. It's not like that would really just happen on its own. And that's very rare, but it can happen. And if it happens and you didn't want to do that, then just delete stuff from the trash so that you make more room in the trash. It's just the same as like your kitchen garbage. You put stuff in the trash, you go to put one more thing in, the trash is full. You got to take the trash out before you can add more things to the trash. So it's kind of the same thing. Okay, so let's take a look at a few other little things that are popping in for us. And we have a question. When I delete an email on my iPad, it seems to still be there on my phone and not delete on my phone. Well, that is probably true. So again, this goes back to settings. And if you are an Apple user, you mentioned iPad, so I'm guessing Apple, you can call 1-800-MY-APPLE. So all Apple users, if you have a Mac product, an Apple product, you can call 1-800-MY-APPLE. Android users don't call because they can't help us. I'm an Android user. But if you're an Apple user, you can call 1-800-MY-APPLE. And they can help you understand what your settings are. My best guess is you're exactly correct. It's sort of a protection because if you delete it on one device, the two devices aren't talking, right? And so you delete it over here, but this device is like, I don't know what you're doing. I just deleted it over here. If you want them to talk, we have to sync them so that when you do it one place, it does it the other. It's disconnected as a protection. So if you delete it one place and you made a mistake, you still have the backup. So the other thing to understand about an iPhone is for many people, we want to be deleting through the actual Apple app, the iPhone app. And that's going to be deleting it through the cloud because if you log in through a different email program to look at your email, again, they're not talking. And so you're going to have to do all of this 2 times, which no one wants to have to do this again. So I might call 1-800-MY-APPLE, and that would probably be the easiest way, 24/7. I believe it should be free, and see if they can guide you to make them talk so that whenever you do it here, the same thing happens over here, and then you don't have to do everything twice. So I hope that helps. It can be very frustrating because you're like, but I just deleted it. We've got a great little tip that came in. Putting quote marks around the search is helping to narrow it down for this person. So I love that you mentioned that to us. And I agree, sometimes that can be really helpful. And then it says, I got rid of an email. How do I know? Oh, okay. So great question. So if you're deleting emails, you may see a total number of emails. And why don't I do this? I'm going to actually log into my email program so that you can see sort of what we're talking about live, in case it would be helpful to sort of understand a little bit or see it visually to better understand what I'm trying to describe with just words. So sometimes that picture is really worth so much more. So let's take a look at this together. Okay, so I am in an email program. I'm going to share my screen with you so that you can see this. So we're in an email program. So your email may or may not look exactly like this, but you can see that Wayfair is sending me emails. So in my search up top, I'm going to type in Wayfair and I'm going to hit enter. And what it did was tell me, okay, Jamie, of the 1,790 emails in your email inbox, and we can see that number right here, Of those emails, well, we have found for you many. We found many emails. And so we're showing you on the screen the first 50 of them. So this is what it's telling me. I have 1,790 emails in my inbox. There's 1 through 50 of many. And if I use these little arrows, I can toggle all the way down to see how many there are, because we're now at 200, 250, 300, 300, and I have 378 emails from a company called Wayfair. So that's too many. I don't need any of them actually. So when I typed in the word Wayfair, when I go ahead, and remember I said you might see, and we don't all see it, and it depends on the device and the size of the screen. This is that little checkbox that I was referring to. So instead of me having to go through and click each Wayfair, and you can see the check mark highlights the email. So I know that that's the one that would be deleted. So I don't have to really want to go through and have to click all these, right? So I'm going to hit that one checkbox and look what happens. It highlights them all. And it's highlighting in batches of 50. So if all goes well and I hit delete here to send them to the trash, and then I refresh my email, it should then decrease my total emails by 50, but I'd have to refresh my email to get a current count. And that's how that would work. So it depends what you're, working on here, but we're looking at that search feature. The other thing that you can do is to select just show me all the unread emails. That would be an option. You could also say, show me oldest first. You could say, of all my emails, just show me oldest first. And if you do that, though, I would just highly recommend you leave yourself a clue that you did that and turn it back around before you log off. Because if you don't, then new emails will come in. They'll be all the way at the end because you asked for oldest first. And then you won't even see new emails because there'll be pages and pages in. And you'll think, oh my gosh, how did I not get any new emails today? And you did, you just can't see them. So if you reverse the order to oldest first, leave yourself a big note to reverse again, or else you're going to think you're not getting emails and you might miss something important. And I wouldn't want that to happen. So just a couple of things. Good question. Is 50 the max that you can delete in batches? No, not usually. So usually what it is that you can only delete the number that you can see on the screen at a time. So my screen is set to a comfortable viewing, which is 50. If I change my settings to be compact, I can see 100 on a screen at a time. They're smaller, but I can see 100, which means then I could delete 100 at a time. It's usually not letting you delete on other pages because you can't see them yet. So how would you be sure you wanted them to go away? So it really usually only lets you delete what you can see. The exception would be some email programs, and I apologize. I wish that the answer was the same for each of us. And I keep saying, like, sometimes, maybe, what if, just in case. I don't know, because we all have something a little bit different, and it also depends on the settings. But some email programs let you go ahead and choose all, select all, and then delete them. But it's risky because, again, you could miss something that you actually meant to keep. So I'm so glad this is helpful. How do I select unread? William's asking. It's a great question. So it depends on the program. Again, a lot of this depends, and I apologize. If you have a question and you can tell me the device or the program you're using, that might help us shortcut it for you. But I'm just going to go back to the inbox. Here I am. I'm going to go to the top. There's three little, right here, this little button, and it's letting me say select read, unread. Starred would be like favorited, so read or unread. You also might be able to search your email program by the word unread, and it might do that. So yep, you have the same thing I do, Gmail. So let's just show you that one more time. So I'm in the email program. Yours may look somewhat similar to mine. And so right here, this little, above the first email in the list, this little box here, there's a little tiny arrow. That little tiny arrow is called a caret. I don't know why, because it doesn't look like a carrot, but that little tiny drop down arrow is called a caret, and you can choose unread from that. And it's telling you, it's showing you all the unread at one time. So I hope that that helps. Great. Oh my gosh, so many ideas. Holding the email down to get rid of all of them does not trash them all. Holding the email down to get rid of, Okay. So Lisa, I know what you mean. Like sometimes it works and sometimes it just depends on the device. So if it's not working, we'll just have to click each one, which is a little more aggravating, but it still gets it done. At least they are, connected. Great question about syncing Android to the PC. I would expect that it might already be done. I'm not sure. That's a little bit outside my wheelhouse, because it's when you turn on the device, it'll usually prompt you. And if you're a Google user, it's probably putting it all in Google One for you. So that's a little outside my wheelhouse, but it can be done, and it's not a lot of steps. I don't know if it's easy, but it's not a lot of steps. It's pretty simple steps. So it depends on what you're using. I would say probably a great first source would be an awesome librarian that has tech abilities. And sometimes there's even like tech classes and things. So that would be a great first step. Wonderful. Okay. My Gmail program on my Windows laptop has 9,000 emails. How can I jump to email? Oh, that's a good question. So if you're trying to find, like, if there's an email in the midst of all the other emails and you're trying to find something in the middle, probably by date. So if you know around what date, like the middle of the batch would be, you could type in a specific date, or just use that arrow to scroll forward in batches of 50. So it'll be a couple of clicks to get you closer to the middle of the batch if that's what you're looking for, and I hope it is. So yay. Carol saying, are you saying that if you delete on the phone and the laptop that it stays in the iCloud? I don't know. And so again, this is where, and I'm so sorry. It's a repetitive, I know, and I'm so sorry. But if you're following along, keep deleting as we're chatting. We're going to move on to photos in just a minute. And the one thing we should all be deleting. But so the answer is, it depends on how you're logged in to view them, right? That's really the answer. And I don't know how you're logged in to view them, which is why 1-800-MY-APPLE, or a tech librarian that could sit side by side with you, or someone that's like super tech savvy that can sit side by side with you, because the iCloud for Apple users, right? So the iCloud, and if you're an Android user, your cloud is probably either, if you have a Samsung or an LG, they have their own clouds. If you're a Google user, you're probably using something in the Google Cloud. So I'm not sure what you might be using, but we all probably have some sort of a cloud service where the backups are automatically happening, right? And so if you are deleting from, let's say, the email program on your device and it's not synced to the cloud, then you're deleting on the email program, but it's staying in the cloud, which can be a great protection in case you delete the wrong thing. The challenge is then you either have to delete it again, or you're going to run out of space in the cloud and have to pay for the rest of your life every month an additional fee. So I'm not sure. The same thing would be with a photo, which we'll talk about when we get there, right? So if you're viewing them in the cloud and you're deleting it in the cloud, then it's gone from the cloud. If you're viewing it another way, it may or may not be synced to the cloud. And this is where it gets a little bit more technical, which is why calling 1-800-MY-APPLE to confirm your settings would probably be really helpful. So yep, keep going. Oh, I hope you're back and can hear me. I hope everyone can hear me. It sounds like someone lost the information. So I hope that's helpful. Okay, so let's pop back into our slideshow, and we can certainly circle back to all of this. And I hope that it's, even if it's a little outside your comfort zone, I hope that we're getting more familiar with the terminology, and you can try some of it later or now, and I think some of you are deleting now. If you're deleting now and you know how many you've deleted, let us know in the chat. It's always fun to see like 100 gone, 500 gone. So long. Unsubscribe from the sender. So don't forget this important piece, because if you don't want to get emails from them again, like a company, then the challenge is, well, if you don't unsubscribe, they're just going to keep coming. So we definitely want to unsubscribe. And that's the important part. So yeah, I mean, because they would just keep coming. So unsubscribe is so important. And the unsubscribe is becoming more visible. It usually used to be like a teeny tiny word all the way at the bottom. And it's now like almost by law, there's different like governing things about the emails that unsubscribe button needs to be closer to the top or much more visible. And so for like Gmail users, you'll see it at the top of the email in blue and you can just click it, and it tends to make it a little bit easier to unsubscribe. Now, great question coming in. I want to unsubscribe, and sometimes they ask for my email to confirm that I'm unsubscribing from the right thing. So I would say that if well, don't open emails you don't recognize, even if they sound a little intimidating, like your account's going to be deleted, you owe us money, here's a document you must sign. I'm not opening any of that. If it appears to be coming from like my bank or my utility company, I contact them. And I'm like, did you send me something? And they're like, no. So don't open any of that, of course. But I would say reputable companies definitely will sometimes have to confirm your email, and it is correct. It feels wrong because you're like, but you sent me an email. Mostly why they have that in place is because, and this is how my email program used to be set up, so I'm guessing this is maybe why it is. Let's say you're on my email newsletter list, and every Tuesday I send you a little email that you can read in 2 minutes or less. And then you forward that on to your sister-in-law. And then your sister-in-law is like, what is this? I didn't subscribe to this. Unsubscribe me. And then it's like, but wait, what's your email? So a lot of times it appears to be scammy-ish, but it's not. But I can't confirm that it's not, because sometimes it feels like I'm going to give you my email and you're going to add me to more lists. So whether, if you feel comfortable pursuing that, you can. Of course, if you have unsubscribed and they haven't complied with your unsubscribe request, don't forget there's a spam button, and it usually looks like a stop sign or a triangle with an exclamation point. And when you hit the spam, it will just send future emails from that person or that company or that address to your junk box. So that way, that could be really helpful. Also, Penny's mentioning like I unsubscribed and then a month later, they're back again. And I can't say that that's not on purpose, right? But what I can say is, let's say there's a magazine that you subscribe to something. So you liked the cleaning tips, you liked the organizing tips, you liked the gardening tips, and then you unsubscribe from one. And you're like, okay, but I'm still getting cleaning and organizing tips. Sometimes you have to go into your online profile if you had like an account with them or you subscribed and uncheck from all of them. Because until you unsubscribe from each one of those different emails, you'll still be getting emails, which is so frustrating, which is why we want to maybe consider being very sparing in who we give our email address to, right? Just stop giving out the email address. Um, you know, when you don't have to. And sometimes you have to, and sometimes you have to get, a special coupon for some place that you might or might not shop with, or for some other reason. And if you wanted a second email address to just give out for spammy reasons, then you could always go to that email and just delete everything without even looking at it, because no one that you would ever want something from could ever send you something on that email because you made it just for giving out when you have to. So, it might be an idea. I don't know. So yeah, okay, we're going to go a little off topic with the email, with the phone call. So we'll circle back, but I do see your question and I might have an idea, but it's so frustrating. All of this is just so frustrating. I would check through the spam. Don't open anything that's in the spam, but look at it and then delete them without opening them. There's something in the wording of those emails that has triggered your email program to say this looks like spam. Either they recognize the address and they know that it's been spammed before, but sometimes things that you want end up there, like a Zoom link to join a program, because the email thinks that that link is a spam. So if you recognize it, you can pull it out of spam by sending it to your inbox. But if you don't recognize it, delete it. But yes, emails in spam are still counted towards your storage. So that's frustrating. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So you have all the different feelings about all the things. And great question about cookies. And unfortunately, we're not talking about delicious peanut butter or chocolate chip cookies. We're talking about cookies and cash, which is basically, and this is going to get really technical. So if you don't want to listen to this part, don't. We're going to move on to photos now. But cookies are a way of when you visit a website like a weather website, and you want to see the weather, and you put in your zip code to see the weather in your area or wherever you're looking up the weather. And then what happens is that email keeps a little crumb of a cookie behind, which is just a technical term for internet bytes and bits and things, which I don't honestly understand. But it leaves a little breadcrumb behind, because when you go back to that weather, you may have noticed that it remembered the zip code you put in last time. And how does it do that? It leaves a little trail, a little crumb behind. And you're right that those crumbs do take up space, and also you've got your information out there in the wild. I don't know if you want to delete them or not. The challenge is, if you delete them, then everything you have saved that might make browsing the internet easier, like passwords or, visiting websites with zip codes in them for the weather, will be gone. Maybe you don't care, maybe you do. The way to delete it is when you go to your online, however you go online, there's 3 dots or 3 lines in the top corner, and you can go in and delete your history. You can delete the cache, you can delete the cookies. But just remember, it's going to delete a lot of stuff that actually might be useful. So I don't know if you want to delete it, but that's how you could do it if you wanted to. So there you go. Denise has got a great plan going. So many of you already have good ideas. I love it. All right. So the one thing that you might really want to consider deleting, like tonight, is videos, because, and this is just an average, so don't quote me on these numbers, but a 10-minute video can equal about 580 photos. It depends on the quality of the video and the quality of the photos and all the things. But just imagine a 10-minute video. So if you took a 2-hour like a conference or a convention or a concert, and you took a 2-hour video, imagine the space that you would get back if you deleted that. Now, if you love it and you want it and it's like a wedding ceremony, then don't delete it. But if you're like, oh yeah, I don't need that. That was like, whatever. I'm often in my backyard trying to catch fireflies on video. So I like just have black screen being recorded because I'm waiting for a firefly to light up in front of me, which very rarely happens. But then I've got all these just dark videos, so they can all be deleted. So videos is a really important thing to delete if you're not currently using them. And I would suggest, if you don't need them, this would be something to consider deleting. They take up a lot of storage space. But if you love them, keep them. And that's a really cool part about like what we're doing for this month's Declutter Club, because we might be reliving some memories. You might see emails you'd forgotten about that like have good information. You might find photos and videos you've forgotten about. So part of this is digital decluttering, and part of this is, oh my gosh, I kind of really like love seeing these things again. So it's like a little walk down memory lane. There's a question wondering if you can move the videos to another device. Yes, you can, but remember, let's say they're on your phone and you are an iPhone user and you move them to your computer. They're still taking up the same storage in the cloud if all of those things are synced to the cloud. So you're actually not helping in any way to move it. The only way you would be helping if you moved it would be is if you put it somewhere like a flash drive or an external, storage device. That would be the only way. But if it's connected to the cloud and it's syncing to the cloud, then you're still taking up the same amount of storage. We really haven't saved anything. So, but I like your thinking in terms of like, maybe I'd move some things, or maybe we just delete other stuff so we save more storage space with other stuff. Are live photos considered videos? So if you mean like a photo where there's like, maybe it's a picture of a snowman and the snow is falling, or it's like a motion photo. Sometimes they make those for you on your own. Anytime there's motion involved, it takes up more storage than a photo for sure. I don't know that it takes up hundreds more, but it definitely takes up more storage. I don't know if it takes up enough that if you have a few of them, I'd be worried about them. But yes, live photos, because there's a lot more activity and motion and stuff, do take up more storage. But again, I don't know how many you have and if it would be, worth it. Because if you love them, I want you to have them. So videos is a big thing to get rid of. So we are going to do the same thing in photos that we just did in email, but we're going to do it for photos. So if you're done with the emails for now, I hope that was somewhat helpful. We're going to move into our photos now. And we're going to take a look at our searching using a keyword in our photos program. So open up your photos. If you're a Gmail user or a Google user, you might have Google Photos. You might have iPhotos if you're an Apple user, an iPhone user. So just open up the photos, open them up. You'll know you're in Google Photos if it says Google Photos across the top. You'll know you're in iPhotos, right? So go somewhere where you can see some photos. And then we can start to use some keywords. And you can use keywords like the ones you see on the screen, flower or screenshot, or even the word blurry. And depending on your device, and I know I'm saying that a lot tonight, so I just want to recognize that, but I typed in the word blurry. See, it says blurry, and look what it shows me. I mean, these are like so blurry. I don't even know what they are. It's like lights. I don't know what it is. It's not helpful. I don't need it. And I have hundreds of them. So instead of me having to go through thousands and thousands of photos to find the ones that are blurry, especially for those of us that are sentimental and like a lot of our photos and can't decide what to get rid of, I know for sure I don't need this one because I don't even know what it is. So this is like a great entry point if you're, undecided about what to keep and get rid of. All my blurry photos can just go. And then, as was mentioned earlier, some of them are moving, right? Because they're like motion photos. So this is just going to save so much space. I'm still going. I'm still going. I'm still going. Look how many blurry photos I have. So you can use the keyword blurry. If you are a screenshot taker, I take a lot of screenshots for like the receipts for when I pick up my groceries, like car side and stuff. So I'll screenshot it with the code, then I go get my groceries and I never delete the code. So I still have all these screenshots that can go. So you can try different things like recipe. If you take photos of recipes, your device should be clever enough to go, oh, half cup, 1 teaspoon, that looks like a recipe. Here are your recipes. Super helpful for if you're looking for a photo that you want to find, but also maybe helpful to find groups of photos that you want to delete and say so long to. So things like wedding or cake or document, handwriting, business card. If you take pictures of business cards, so you don't have the actual card, type in business card. If you took a picture of my business card that says Jamie Novak and you typed in Jamie Novak, my best guess is my business card would come back because it's reading the text. So the devices are so advanced now, using different keywords can really help you find photos that you're looking for, and then hopefully photos that you maybe want to delete. So practice, different words will work differently. And there's a great question about putting photos into folders or albums. And yes, we're going to talk about that next. I don't know that you want to take whatever you have, 1,000 photos, 10,000 photos. I don't know that you want to take the time to put them all into folders. But what I do think you might want to do is search for a particular thing like, beach, and then take all the photos from a beach vacation and put those in a folder so that they're there for you. But I personally am not going to spend time like organizing all of them as much as I really, really, really want to. I have other things going on, but you may feel differently. So it just depends. But yes, we're going to look at folders in just a minute. I love that you're right on that track. So let me show this to you because I get stuck sometimes as far as like what to delete, because when I'm taking pictures of like children or my dog or a flower, I'll see all these wonderful pictures and they're just seconds apart, right? I took this one and this one, but someone blinked, but someone's looking over here, but the wind blew and the flower moved and it's a little blurry. So I can really get tripped up when I'm trying to decide which ones to delete. So for example, as you're looking at your thumbnails, and thumbnails are going to be all the little squares of pictures, that's the thumbnail. And then when you touch it and it enlarges, that's the picture. So when I'm looking at the thumbnails, it's really hard sometimes. And let me just do this for you. So I love doing clouds. So here's just, I'll lower the brightness and we can see this. Here's a whole bunch of cloud photos, all taken within seconds of one another. I was trying to capture a particular cloud that looked like a shape. So here are all my cloud pictures. If I were to sit here and go, this one or that one, this one or that one, I'm going to spend all day deciding between two cloud pictures and it doesn't even really matter in the, grand scheme of life. So what I do is I go through them and I select the one I like best. So for example, this one, and I'm going to click the little heart at the bottom. So this heart is just an outline of a heart until I click it, and then it fills in a heart. Sometimes it's a star, sometimes it's a heart. And now when I go back to the thumbnails, if you look very closely, you can see the one that I put a heart on versus the others. So without me having to enlarge them and confirm that this is the one that I don't want versus the one that I do want, I'm able to now, from all the little pictures, the thumbnails, just go through and select them for deletion, either by tapping each one of them or sliding my finger across the screen to delete them all. So when you highlight it as your favorite, it will allow you to see it. It's tiny, so you have to look closely, but it will allow you to see which ones you don't want and can delete them more easily. So that's just a little strategy. Now, what's interesting is most of our devices go, oh, Jamie just hit a star. Jamie just hit a heart. It means she has a favorite. Let's make her a folder. Let's make her an album, depends on your device, and let's put all her favorites in there. So when Jamie says, show me my favorites, they're all there. So you may not have ever made an album. What's so fascinating is you may already have some albums made. And so don't be surprised if you look at your albums and they're made. Okay, let's continue on. Again, here's like an example of a first birthday. So if you're invited to a first birthday party, you've got like the cake, and then the cake close up, and then the cake being lit, then the cake being walked over to the birthday child, then the birthday child looking at the cake, then the birthday child like with help blowing out the candle, then the child like taking some of the cake, then the first bite of the cake. It's like all those pictures, and all of them together tell a beautiful story. The challenge is we don't have enough space to keep them all. And when you save them all, then really no one is special. So when you choose the one or two that represent the moment, the person, the place, the adventure the best, I think this is a great place to start. So just something to consider if, like me, you just take a lot of pictures of a similar event. So don't forget to try sliding along the screen. It usually works once you select the first one, because now you've told your device, listen, we're going to be deleting, I'm going to be selecting, click one, and let's go for more. So the sliding can work and you can just give it a go. All right. Now, there was a great question about photos and videos into albums or folders. And yes, this is possible. So let's look at it together. And I will just say that when you're in your gallery of photos, and somewhere on the screen, it probably has the word pictures or photos highlighted. So you're looking at pictures or photos. I don't believe you can ever make an album when you're in pictures. You can only make an album when you're in albums. So somewhere on your screen should be the word album. For me, it's all the way at the bottom next to the word pictures, and it takes me to albums. And when I go to albums, now I can make another album. Now remember, when you go to albums, you might be shocked to see there are already albums made. There may be an album made because it's your favorites. If you ever edited a photo, there's probably an edited album. If you ever made a collage, there's probably a collage album. If you ever made like a movie from it, or it made a movie for you. Oh, and if you're a WhatsApp user, if you use the app WhatsApp, it is probably automatically downloading everything from WhatsApp and making you a folder for WhatsApp, which is also taking up your storage, and you can stop if you want to. So there's just maybe some albums that are already created. So once you're in albums, and you must be in albums to make albums. So somewhere on your screen, it will say albums. For me, it says albums, and then there's a little plus sign. And I'll just click that little plus sign. Sometimes it's 3 dots, sometimes it's 3 lines. It says, what do you want to make? I'd like to make an album. I click album. It says, name the album. I name the album. And then it's going to ask you, okay, you just made an album. Do you want to select some photos to put in the album or no? And if you want to select them now, you can. If not, just exit out. The album will still be created. And then to add photos to the album, we have to go back to photos, because now we want to start in photos to say, send this photo to an album. So we're going to open up our pictures or our photos. We're going to choose a picture to send to an album. So here is Delilah lounging in the lounge chair on Memorial Day in her bed. So I've selected that album, that picture, I should say. So I'm in pictures, I selected it. Down, oh, I should say right here, 3 dots for me. It says, what do you want to do? And I'm going to say move to an album. And I'm going to move it to an album. So I can say move to album. Then it takes me to albums. I choose the album named Delilah. And it says moving one picture, and it's now moved here. So that was a very quick overview. If you're lost about any of this, just be patient with me and with yourself as we do this together. So an album and a folder are basically interchangeable terminology. So it just depends on how you're saying it or what your device supports. And so you can move them around. Let me just tell you something that I recently found out, and I want you to just know it so that you don't make an error. Okay. When your photo is in an album, you will probably also see it in the general pictures and camera roll. It will appear to be a copy. I don't think it's a copy. When you move it, you've only moved it. If you said copy, because copy can be a choice, then you have made a duplicate. Now you do have two. But for most of us, because we don't want to, because we don't want to have to delete one later, we're just moving it. And when you move it, it's going to appear in the folder, but you're probably also going to see it in the general camera roll. And then you're going to be like, wait, why do I have two of those? Let me delete one. And if you delete one, my best guess is it's also going to delete from the folder. Or if you delete from the folder, it will delete from the other place. And you can test this by take a picture, put it in a folder, delete it, and then see if it's gone from both places. And my best guess is, yes, it will be. So just don't be confused by that, because I was, and I thought I had two and I didn't, and I deleted stuff that then I had to get back. So it's not a big deal once you know, but if you don't know, which is why I wanted to mention it. So I know we have a few lingering questions, but basically we have to open the photos, choose albums, because you cannot make an album if you're in photos, so you have to be in albums, create a new album, which is sometimes 3 lines, sometimes 3 dots, sometimes a circle with dots. You'll get to know your device, and don't be afraid to make yourself a little cheat sheet. Write down what you're doing. What was the icon? What did you press? What did you do? So that you can do it again. Because sometimes I do something and I'm like, wait, how did I do that? So photos, albums, create new album, and then move them in. So I'm wondering if we have moved your confidence needle. I know so many of you shared with us at the very beginning of our time together how you were feeling on a scale of 1 to 10. And I'm wondering if possibly we've moved that for you. So are you confident now, more confident than when we started, confident to take a next step? One, still not, I need to take this again, or closer to 10, I'm feeling good about this. So join us in chat if you'd like to. It's one of my favorite things. Yes, we do have a recording, so we're happy to share that with you. What is the difference between album and project on iPhone? Oh, you know what, Lori? I don't know, because I don't know what a project is on an iPhone. That's interesting. I'm wondering if a project, if you're in photos, so project on iPhone, is it in photos? Okay, so a project on the iPhone refers to, I'm just trying to do a quick Google search while we're talking. Oh, more like, it looks like more like a motion picture. Is that what it's like, slideshows and memories and things? That's what that looks like. So a project is like if it made you like a little video or a little memory, that sort of a thing. So of course that's going to take up more space than a photo does. So an album is like a photo album. Think of it like a bunch of photos. And then a project is going to be where you've done something to a photo or the device has done it for you. So I love that we've all made a big improvement, feeling better, but maybe still a little stressed. But we're, doing all the things. So I love this, and just keep going, right? So we're all just keep learning and keep going and keep deleting and all the things. So I hope that helps. All right. Edith, I don't think anyone else is freezing, but let me know if we've, if I'm freezing for you, let me know. Yes, 1-800-MY-APPLE is a golden nugget. I couldn't agree more, knowing that we've got that source. Don't forget awesome libraries, tech librarians. You can book tech help. You can pop into tech classes. There's a lot of resources for you. So yes, okay, so let's take a look at 4 weeks of deleting can be transformational for your photos, but also for your inbox. So it's just the beginning of June. If you are dedicated and diligent about deleting and unsubscribing in your email inbox, by July, things are going to look a lot different because you won't be getting the same coupons and newsletters and all the things. We certainly hope you'll get the library's newsletter, and maybe you're signed up for mine too, which is how you find out about these programs. But for all the stuff that you don't need, it can really be transformational. Just stay focused. So one of the things that can be really helpful is habit wrapping. During the first commercial break of a television show, delete that day's emails or delete some photos. Put in a load of laundry at the laundromat or at home. The spin time, delete. 20 minutes before your favorite show comes on, while you're in the doctor's office waiting room, like some routine that you already have, and then just add this digital decluttering with it. And I hope that that's helpful. So it can really be transformational. So think about something you're already doing and then add some digital deleting to it. And that would be habit wrapping. As we wrap up our time together, and I think there's 2 lingering questions, and I'll pop through to make sure we've answered everything else as well. If you recently upgraded a device, a couple of pointers for you. First, date the box, because usually you've got like a year under warranty and you would usually need the box. So if you date the box to know after such and such a date you can discard it, you're good to go. I take a kitchen Ziploc bag for my accessories. I mark the bag with the date and what product it is. I put the booklet and the receipt in there because if I need anything with the warranty, well, I'm going to want to be able to have the receipt. If you purchased an extended warranty and you don't make a claim on the extended warranty, once the warranty period ends, contact the warranty company. You know why? Mm-hmm. You got it. That's right. I'm checking the inbox. Sorry, I have a little tickle in my throat, but I'm checking the email. Yes, that's right. So some of you said contact the warranty company because if you didn't make a claim, they might give you some of the money you paid out of pocket for that warranty. But the warranty period has to have come to an end so we can save some money. Make sure you have the new charger in the car. Label the cord so you know it goes to the new device. You might look to sell the old device at Declutter, and the missing E is correct. So the missing E is correct there. You might even be able to trade it in. And if you want to recycle electronics, cords, coffee brewers, GPS machines, VCRs, printers, or luggage, Staples and Best Buy stores let you recycle for free. So I hope that helps save our planet and save your garage or your storage space. And so if you have WhatsApp, I will leave this on so you can follow the directions, because if you're a WhatsApp user, unless you turn it off, WhatsApp is saving, I believe, a copy of everything to your phone. It'll still operate the same way. You just won't download a copy of everything. So I'll leave this up for a minute and I'll also put it back up. And I know we have to say so long. Gosh, I wish we could spend all night. There's so much more to say. If you want to delete your Facebook account, there's a question about that. You log into Facebook, you go to the little settings wheel, and at the very bottom, it'll say delete account. And if that's what you want to do, it'll ask you to confirm that you want to delete it, and then it will be zapped. So just make sure you're 100% sure. Before you delete your Facebook account, you can download everything from your Facebook. So in case you wanted photos or something, you could download all of your information before you delete. I'll put this back up in just a moment. I just want to wrap up for those of us that are going to say so long. If you're still stuck, don't forget there's tech savvy neighbors. You can call 1-800-MY-APPLE. And sometimes there's really very tech savvy librarians. We love our public libraries, and they offer us so much support, especially side by side. So we do hope to see you next month. It'll be on July 10th because of Independence Day. We're going to talk paperwork. So tell everyone you know, because paper tends to be a #1 problem. Everyone is welcome to log on, and we do hope to see you. You can register at the library or by going to jamienovak.com. Of course, I'd like to thank you for tuning in. That's what makes our Declutter Club so much fun. So thank you for coming or coming back. And of course, we do thank our library as well, because without them, we wouldn't be here. So I'll leave up the WhatsApp screen as we answer a final question that rolled in the chat. I see all your lovely comments. So thank you. Thank you. Okay. So, oh, Jean, thank you. I'm going to write that down. Yeah, habit wrapping is one of my favorites. So, yes. There was a question. I'm trying to find it. It was earlier on, and it was about phone calls. So, if you're receiving phone calls, that is a challenge. And I just want to see if I can find the exact wording of the question. But let's take a peek. All right, I can't see it now, and I'm so sorry, but I believe it was specifically about like getting phone calls. And there is a device, but the thing is that they usually will just call from another number. So even if you log that as spam, oh, here it is. Similar to spam email, do you know how to get rid of solar panel phone sales phone calls if I block, they call on another? Oh, it's so challenging. So I would say, did you register your phone number with donotcall.gov? Donotcall.gov. And you can register your cell phone, you can register your house phone, but I believe it's only a 5-year registration. So if you haven't registered lately, or if you've never registered, that might be a good place to start. Donotcall.gov. That's probably what I would do. It's a good question. Lovely comments rolling in. Everyone, this was such a delight. Thank you for joining us for our June Declutter Club. We're going to be back for July, so we can't wait to see you then. And in the meantime, I hope you're going to be deleting and discarding and getting all the things together when it comes to digital clutter. So thank you, library. Thank you, Declutter friends. And we'll see you again next month. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon. Happy decluttering. Bye-bye now.